This story is called There's No Time. There once lived an old, decrepit man whose life was worn out by his constant struggles in a small town outside of Stratford, Texas. He had been placed in a psych ward and forgotten by his wonderful and caring children. He had spent his last few years before his retirement working as a traveling salesman. There wasn't a thing he couldn't sell, at a bargain price, of course. Everyone knew him well. By his 65th birthday, he began, oddly enough, displaying erratic behavior. He would spend countless hours looking at his mantel clock, situated above his chimney. At first he began mumbling incoherently that there wasn't any time. His family didn't pay much attention at his wild ranting. They figured he'd been stressed at his retirement. So they ignored him, hoping he would get better with time. But after months of waiting, nothing seemed to change. As a matter of fact, his ranting became wilder and more rampant. There's no time! Nothing his family did could stop him from yelling. There's no time. His family began to question his ranting. Could he foresee impending doom coming? Had he become a prophet? Word spread about a man who seemed to have this incredible power to foresee impending doom. A following began to surge. People from all over the city began to flock to hear the old man's message. There's no time! Soon after, people began to empty out bank accounts, sell their personal belongings, and quit their jobs on the account of the old man's message of impending doom. After a few months of this madness, his family could no longer support his bombastic tones. His declamatory statement, "There's no time," would reverberate throughout the walls of his small town. There's no time. His family decided for his 66th birthday to institutionalize him at a mental ward just a few miles from where they lived, far enough from the little town to keep his maddening rant from being heard. Soon they released him to the state, and a scheduled day for his pickup would be near. On the day of his transfer, the orderlies attempted to remove the old man by force. He clutched his mantel clock, yelling and screaming, "There's no time!" The scared orderlies wore crucifixes and spread holy water all over themselves in order to keep perceived spirits from haunting them. Many months passed by, and slowly the old man's ranting had soon been forgotten in the small town. Yet the old man could be heard yelling throughout the ward's halls as he clutched his beloved mantel clock. There's no time! Could be heard echoing on a daily basis. Many orderlies came and went. Many transferred because they just could not take the old man's ranting. But soon a young orderly arrived from another state. He was unaware of the difficulty of his assignment. On the first day on the job, he met the old man, sleeping quietly, clutching his clock. He looked at him and saw something rather strange. He quickly ran to the supply room, grabbed some items, and ran back before the old man woke. He quickly grabbed the old man's mantel clock from his death grip, inserted batteries, and adjusted the time. Just then the old man woke, snatched the clock from the new orderly. As he gave him a perplexed look, the old man opened his mouth wide and yelled, "Now there's time!"